Hello, and this is Doug. I have my dog Tara with me today. This is my very first one take in lieu of his name will be famous to all you YouTube viewers, and he's part of the Drive Network crew. His name is Matt Farah. So this one's for you, Matt. This is my very first one take. Tara's very excited about it. So am I. And I'm in my personal vehicle. This is a Volkswagen Golf. It's a Mark III. It's a 1998. So we're gonna go for a ride here. We're in Portland, Oregon, kind of on the outskirts now. And it's one of my favorite driving roads here. Yes, we have driving roads here in Oregon. They're very similar. They have long sweeping roads, and they also have very tight ones, and we're gonna go on one of the tighter roads. This is sort of a tarmac rally course, sort of a road that I found. Again, it's one of my favorites, and I haven't been back here since my Subaru Legacy GT that I blew up about a year ago, and I blew a rocker arm, bearing in the crankcase. I think it was a rocker bearing, the one that connects to the crank off of the rocker arm that had blown in my Subaru. So now I have this Golf that is completely bone stock. It has a new clutch that's sort of a stiff one. At any rate, let me get to the driving so you can check out these cool Portland roads. Okay, this one's right off of 182nd in Portland. And let's get going here. The car is warm. I drove downhill. We're going to be doing the uphill run. Some neighbors oogling me. And we're going to take it really easy. It's super greasy out here. And with that, I can feel the understeer pushing into the corners already. These are really tight turns. I'm in second gear, and I'm barely even cracking the speed limit. I can feel the understeer, so we're gonna go slow. This is my favorite part, this tunnel here. Right into a tight right-hander. Right there, I can feel that understeer pushing into the corner. Okay. I'm taking it real easy again. I'm not revving the engine high. This car's got 170,000 miles on it, or thereabouts. And so I'm real gentle on her. I wanted to last into the 200,000 mile range in her life, and I see her getting there. Okay, so there's that understeer. Tara's fighting through it, and we're gonna crack into second. Yeah, feel it. That's all of 100 at least horsepower, and I'm thinking about the same amount of torque. And we're getting there at about 3,000 RPM, and boy, let me tell you, pushing about a 2,200 pound car with 100 horsepower and 100 foot-pounds of torque is quite an experience. That's right. Okay, I didn't even get into third there. I wanted to shift, but I'm going to leave it in second to power up these hills. They're tight. That was a tight left-hand turn in second still. And okay, here's the straightaway, so we might be able, no, we're not gonna get into third. We're just gonna crack the tip of second there. Okay, now a little left foot braking so I don't slide off in the sweeping left-hand turn into the forest. Okay, now we're getting to the neighborhood, so I'm gonna pull back a little bit. See how great these roads are in Portland. I had just passed 82nd, and that is popular street where you can get yourself into a lot of fun. We're up here now in the outskirts, I say, because it's past Mount Tabor, and we're up into the hills, so you're going to get a lot of ups and downs as far as elevation goes in this terrain. It's really great for driving, and it could really show you what your car can do if you're willing to test out your car's might. So let me take a right here. I'm gonna take a right onto Ridgecrest, and we're gonna head back up to one of the bigger streets. So bear with me through the bumps, because we're not gonna be revving her through the beautiful neighborhood that we have here, because we want to keep a positive name. We don't want to offend anyone. Let's leave it at that. Okay, so we're just going to be courteous over these bumps. Isn't that right, Tara? Okay. Right at the tip of this crest is another open road where we'll at least be able to get the Golf into second gear. The VW Golf, the MRKIII chassis, has long gearing. This is the 5-speed gearbox, and it has a dog leg reverse towards you, the driver, to the left if you push down. And for first gear itself is quite short. Okay, so I'm taking a left here. This is Mount Scott. I'm gonna take a left on Mount Scott. There's a lot of traffic, so let me just show you the road, and then we'll go back down the hill on Mount Scott towards 82nd, where there's long sweeping straights, and also that's a good opportunity to get the car into the higher gears. Right here we're headed back down the back of this crest, and we're going to be doing some engine braking here in second gear, turning about 3,700 RPM, and I'm in back of this Toyota Tacoma, so I'm going to quickly just turn around so we can actually hear this engine rev. It's the 2-liter engine that they put in the Golf in 1998, and she's quite peppy. I love her. She sounds just like a very responsive engine that wants to work for you. So I don't want to understeer into this guardrail, so let me slow down and let me take left into this parking lot, and then take just flip it, in fact, and then we'll go back up that behind side of Mount Scott Road, and we're going to go down that same road, down the mountain where there are those straights. There is some sweeping going on. We're going to do some tidying up in the sweeping bends where these straightaways lead. We're going to be able to get her up there in the revs. Hey, look, there's another Legacy GT wagon. I used to have one of those. Excuse me, I got this cough. It's no good. Just getting over it right now, though. We're gonna watch out for deers. We got behind a pack of cars, which is unfortunate. But as you can see, there's a sheep. I just saw a sheep, and so that's pretty synonymous of Portland keeping weird. You'll see sheep, you'll see goats being walked instead of dogs. It's a trend. And you'll see little piglets at the dog parks. Okay, so we're behind a pack. We have a Subaru Legacy non-turbo in front of us. race style. This is probably a 2009 or sooner Legacy in front of us, which doesn't impress me. So I'm glad that it's turning to the left and we're going straight, because we're gonna really blast off here in first gear. Actually, I want to let this Toyota Tacoma go, and so then we can get a nice little run up in first gear, down the crest. And into second. Oh, and this Accord just jumps right in front of me, which is fine, you know. It's a busy time of day, I suppose. I think it's Sunday and it's before noon. This is a golf course, and these are these long, sweeping roads I was talking about. I want to call them, you know, straightaways at some point, because there's actually there's no apex to a lot of these. This is just a straightaway, and if this car weren't here, I could really open her up. If this car weren't here in front of me, and I could at least get her to the mid range of the power band in third gear on this Golf 5-speed. So right now I'm turning about 2,900 RPM in third gear. Okay, so we're going back towards 80 seconds. I'm gonna get a little blip of the throttle into second. Okay, sweeping left. We're turning some revs here. 3,500. I wish that this sport utility vehicle of a Mercedes-Benz wasn't right in front of me. Although during my valet parking days as a valet parking attendant, I drove a number of these SUV Volkswagens. Let me see, my eyesight's not what it used to be. I'm 30 years old now. It's the ML320. The ML320. Those are sturdy vehicles, and they feel really nice when you put your foot down. The throttle is definitely connected right to the chassis. You can really feel the connectivity, the connectiveness, if you will, since YouTube users and IT, information technology buffs, might associate that connectivity with a Wi-Fi signal. So I don't want to confuse you all, since this is going to be posted on YouTube. Okay, we're going to cool it down now. I'm dropping her in fourth. Oh, and would you look at that? You know, we're coming to a stop here. There is a railroad crossing, and the guardrails just went down. So the video is ending right here, right now. Thanks for watching.